We have some breaking news here on Boston Celtics today. Harrison Graham and Chase Sr. here to break it all down. Dennis Schroder signing on a one-year contract worth $5.9 million. Here's Adrian Wojnarowski dropping the news. Free agent Dennis Schroder has agreed to a one-year deal with the Boston Celtics. Chase, you did a video earlier today hinting at this possibility. Now it is official. He will play for the mid-level exception.
Yeah, earlier on the channel, we discussed some reports that the Boston Celtics had already offered Dennis Schroder a one-year deal, and those reports ended up being true because it's for the mid-level exception. Now, for the Boston Celtics, Harrison, this is fantastic because you're getting a pretty solid player at excellent value at under $6 million for this upcoming season. For Dennis Schroder, it's not good because last year with the Lakers, according to Brian Windhorst, he turned down a 4-year, $84 million contract, and now he's settling for less than $6 million. I'd be sick to my stomach if that was me.
This is an absolute steal for Boston, but it's one of the worst managements in terms of agent-client relationship in the history of professional sports.
Fire your agent.
We saw Nerlens Noel turn down 4 for $70 with the Mavs. At least he's recovered a little bit with the $30 million contract. He had 4 years and $84 million just on the table, turns it down because he wants $100 million. Now he gets $5.9 on a one-year deal. It's a steal for Boston. It's brutal for Dennis Schroder. Hopefully he can get over that, recover, have a great season, and hit the open market again next year, which obviously is the plan as he signs a one-year deal. He also posted on his Instagram, excited to be with the Celtics, etc. Gets to join one of the best franchises in the history of the NBA. But from a financial standpoint, sure, he still has a lot of money in the bank, Chase, but he lost out on an ungodly amount. But for Boston, a one-year contract for $5.9 under the mid-level exception, that's about as good of a player as you're going to find at that price tag. What is your one-word reaction to Dennis Schroder heading to Boston on a one-year deal? Let us know down in the comments. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. So when you get hit with the YouTube ad break, scroll on down, answer this question, scroll back up. The video will be back and playing. Your one-word reaction, Chase, affordable.
Yeah, affordable. That's it. Because you're getting a really solid player who's not great. He's good. He's very solid for a very affordable price at less than $6 million per season. And I like Dennis Schroder's game. He can put the ball on the deck. He can shake it down off the dribble. He really can, at a pretty average rate, score at all three levels. Dennis Schroder is certainly a capable offensive player. He's got some explosion to his game. And on some nights, he looks like a great player. The problem with Schroder, very inconsistent. And 2 years ago, if Boston can get this Dennis Schroder, when he finished runner-up in the Sixth Man of the Year award race behind Montrezl Harrell, this is going to be one of the best value signings in NBA free agency. 2 years ago, he averaged almost 19 points per game, shot almost 47% from the floor and almost 39% from distance. But this year, those numbers went down significantly. 15.5 points per game for the Lakers this past year. The shooting percentage went down from around 47 to less than 44. And he was not a marksman from deep by any means, from 39% to 34%. So if you get the former Dennis Schroder, a guy who 2 years ago was very, very productive but struggled when he had an opportunity to really increase his value, make himself some money when Anthony Davis went out in that first-round series against the Phoenix Suns, then I really like this play for Boston.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of seen this throughout Schroeder's career where at times he looks like the best player on the floor. He can hang you for 35 and go 14 of 20 from the field, play some good defense. Other times, he's 4 for 17, he's not engaged, and he's flaming out in the playoffs when the Lakers really need him to step up. He's been very up and down. We saw him 2 years ago have the best year of his career. Hopefully, Boston can unleash that Dennis Schroder because they desperately needed a floor general, and I think we both anticipate that he will start. This is why you subscribe to Boston Celtics Today because, hey, we hit you with all of the breaking news, any hot rumors that are out there on the streets. We got you guys covered here on Boston Celtics Today. Hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free. You see that link below, youtube.com/CelticsTV. Share that with all your buddies, and we will continue to plug out videos for you guys here on Boston Celtics Today. So let's kind of take a look at potentially what a starting five could look like. Certainly, Ime Udoka will have options, but I think this is your 5 best players, Chase. A backcourt of Schroder and Marcus Smart. Schroder more for offense, Smart more for defense. Brown and Tatum on the wing, and then Al Horford back in Boston playing that stretch 5.
Yeah, we were talking about this before we did this video, and we were having some trouble figuring out what the starting 5 would be because Dennis Schroder and Marcus Smart have both had a lot of success coming off the bench, and they can certainly be productive players as role guys who can come in. Marcus Smart gives you a little bit more defensively, as you said, Harris, and Dennis Schroder more so offensively. But I think you could also mix and match with maybe a guy like Robert Williams playing the 4, Al Horford the 5, vice versa. If you're going up against some larger
Aaron Nesmith
lineups.
develop? You
Aaron
put him
Nesmith,
in first,
maybe.
Keep Smart on as your 6th man.
You'd
maybe?
love to get some more out of him, but
Yeah.
I like the starting 5. Schroder, Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Like Jaylen Brown, a very good and capable defensive player. Al Horford's always going to give you defensive effort as well. So I think Ime Udoka is going to have a difficult time deciding which point guard to start, who's going to come in off the bench, and then what do you do with those 4-5 spots. But to start with this as a starting point, not too bad.
Yeah, and look, you think that Schroeder's certainly an upgrade at point guard over Smart. I think we've seen that Marcus Smart can play some point. He can play 10 to 12 minutes a game running your offense. Not really a primary point guard, though. That's not a guy who can facilitate for 48 minutes.
No, I like Dennis Schroeder's handle. I like his ability to put the basketball on the floor and make some plays happen from a creativity standpoint much more than Marcus Smart. Smart is capable of running point guard in stretches, but do you want him to be your starting point guard for 82 games? Now, I do think he'd be able to make it work because he's playing alongside Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and those guys can both average 25-plus points per night.
And they can bring it up, too.
And they can bring it up, too, and Marcus Smart can play off the ball. I just think this is a point guard upgrade going with Schroeder over Marcus Smart because from a traditional point guard sense of creating, passing, Schroeder gives you a little bit more in that department than Marcus Smart does.
Yeah, and he can create his own shot a little bit better as well.
No
so
doubt.
I think it's a very good signing. $5.9 million is a steal, so grade it for us, A, B, C, D, or F. I think for the value, this point in free agency, I think it has to be an A. I mean, look, he's not an A player, but I think it's an A contract for $5.9 million.
Yeah, I'm going to go B just because the Celtics really haven't done anything else in free agency, and this has been their lone move in addition to Enes Kanter.
Sure.
So I think it's a solid B, and a very good B at that, because I think Schroeder is going to fill in very nicely, and he's going to factor in nicely alongside some of the other pieces in that starting 5.
So Dennis Schroeder to the Boston Celtics, 1 year, $5.9 million on the mid-level exception. He's certainly looking to show that he can cash in next offseason after turning down that 4-year, $84 million extension with the Lakers during the season. I think before the trade deadline.
Yeah,
Obviously,
it was before the trade
he has
deadline.
lost out in that regard, but
Yeah.
for Boston, hey, fresh opportunity for him and a good player coming to the Celtics.
Goes from the Lakers to the Celtics, too.
I know.
Two
hey,
historic franchises.
absolutely.
Celtics fans might be triggered.
So, yeah, hey, you know what? I don't think Dennis Schroeder has deep Lakers roots.
Nah,
I think they'll
one
be
year,
fine
one and
watching
done.
Dennis Schroeder run the point. So, quick reminder, subscribe, Boston Celtics Today, youtube.com/CelticsTV. We'll continue to bring the latest news and rumors around the seas. Until next time, we're signing off here on the show.